Hello, my friend. Welcome to another episode of 15 Minutes of Slow English. I'm really happy that you're here with me today. In this episode, I want to share a gentle, simple story with you. A true story. A story about a small moment. A moment that looked ordinary, but changed someone's life in a quiet and beautiful way. Today we will listen slowly, we will breathe, we will relax, and we will enjoy English together, one sentence at a time. This story is perfect for A1 and A2 English learners. The language is clear, the rhythm is calm, and you can shadow along with me if you want. Just repeat after me, slowly and softly. So take a deep breath, feel your shoulders relax, and let's begin our slow English journey. 1. A season of feeling lost. 2 years ago, my life felt heavy, not dramatic, not terrible, just heavy. I had a job, but every morning when my alarm rang, my heart felt tired. I had friends. But even when we laughed together, I sometimes felt like I was far away, behind a little invisible wall. Every day looked exactly like the one before. Wake up, get dressed, go to work, come back home, eat something simple, scroll on my phone, then sleep, and do it all again. Maybe you know that feeling too, that quiet gray feeling when life is moving, but your heart is not. I didn't feel miserable, just empty. I didn't hate my life. I just didn't know what I was living for. Everything was fine, but nothing felt alive. I knew something had to change, but I didn't know where to start, and so I stayed stuck. Day after day, until one night, a small accident of life opened a new door. 2. A strange, lonely evening. It was a Thursday. I remember it clearly. I came home later than usual. The sky was dark. The city felt noisy. And I was carrying the stress of the whole day on my shoulders. When I opened the door, I didn't even turn on the lights. I just let my bag fall to the floor. I sat on the sofa, and I stared at nothing. My mind was loud. Thoughts everywhere. Worries, doubts, questions, all mixed together like tangled cables. I turned on the TV, hoping it would distract me. It didn't. Every sound felt too strong. Every voice annoyed me. So I turned it off again. That's when I saw it. A small notebook under a pile of magazines on the table. Something old. Something forgotten. Something that felt like a message from another version of myself. 3. The forgotten notebook. I pulled it out slowly. It was an old notebook from school, a little worn, with soft corners and a few coffee stains. My name was written on the cover, but the ink was almost faded. I opened the first page, and I smiled. Inside there were Spanish words, my handwriting, little sentences, small grammar notes, silly doodles in the margins. I had completely forgotten that I once tried to learn Spanish. When I was younger, I loved languages. I loved the feeling of understanding something new. I loved the sound of Spanish, warm, friendly, musical. But life happened, work happened, stress happened, and without noticing, I stopped. But holding that notebook, something inside me woke up. a tiny spark, a little voice that whispered, "Hey, remember me." 4. A quiet decision. I sat there for a long moment, touching the pages. And then, very softly, I said to myself, maybe I can start again. Not to be perfect, not to be impressive, just for pleasure. Just a few minutes a day. It sounded like a small idea, almost too small, but something in my heart felt lighter. So I opened my laptop, typed "Learn Spanish Slowly" on YouTube, pressed enter. A calm podcast appeared. Short stories, clear voice, friendly tone. I clicked. The teacher spoke slowly, gently, patiently. I understood maybe 60%, sometimes 70%, sometimes only 20%. But it didn't matter. For the first time in months, I wasn't thinking about my stress. I was just listening. After a few minutes, the teacher invited me to repeat after him. So I did. Quietly, awkwardly, but I did. And something inside me stretched, like a muscle waking up after sleeping for too long. 5. Small minutes, big change. The next day I listened again. 10 minutes, then 12, then 15. I didn't force myself. I didn't push. It just felt good. So I kept going. Every day, just a little. A new word here, a funny phrase there. Some mistakes, of course, but also little victories. I started writing tiny sentences in Spanish. Today I feel calm. I cooked pasta. I saw a dog in the park. They were simple, but they made me feel proud, like I was building something, brick by brick. After 1 month, something unexpected happened. My Spanish improved a little, but my life, it improved a lot. I started thinking differently. I began taking small risks, trying new things, not waiting for the perfect moment anymore. Spanish became part of my day, a friend, a companion, something warm that made me feel connected to myself again. 6. A brave moment. In a cafe one evening, I was sitting in a small cafe. The light was soft. The music was gentle. The room smelled like fresh coffee and warm bread. 2 tourists were sitting at the table next to mine. They were speaking Spanish, not fast, not slow, just normal Spanish. Before I would have stayed quiet, I would have looked at my phone, pretending not to listen. But that day, something was different. I took a little breath. I smiled, and I said softly, "Hola. Are you visiting here?" My heart was beating fast. My palms were sweating, but I did it. They smiled back, friendly and surprised. We talked for 5 minutes. Just 5. Nothing dramatic, nothing extraordinary. But for me, it was a mountain climbed. When they left, I felt proud, truly proud. I felt brave, alive, connected. And in that moment, I understood something important. Learning a language is not only about vocabulary. It's about courage, connection, confidence. It's about opening small doors and letting life come in. 7. A new habit, a new life. Now, I still practice every day, just 10 or 15 minutes. Sometimes I shadow podcasts. Sometimes I read short stories out loud. Sometimes I record myself and listen again, even if I don't like my own voice. I don't study because I must. I study because I want to, because Spanish has become a reminder. I can always start again, at any age, in any moment, with small steps, with gentle effort. And every time I learn something new, even one little word, it feels like a small celebration. Conclusion. A warm ending. Thank you, my friend, for listening to this slow English story with me. I hope it made you feel calm. I hope it made you smile. And maybe, I hope it reminded you of something important. Small changes can transform your life. 1 minute at a time, one word at a time, one brave moment at a time. If you want, you can shadow some of these sentences right now. I can start again. Small steps are enough. I am learning every day. I feel proud of myself. Say them slowly, clearly, with emotion. You are doing great, really. Thank you for being here with me in another episode of 15 Minutes of Slow English. If you enjoyed this story, you can listen to it again tomorrow. Slowly, gently, calmly. Until next time. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in small moments. Goodbye for now.